Hey everyone, Tim Schofield here, and Google just sent over their latest foldable phone, the Google Pixel 10 Pro Fold. This is a year of firsts for their foldable phone. It's the first phone with MagSafe, which Google calls Pixel Snap, so there's magnets built in the back so you can use specific accessories and just snap them on. Also an IP68 rating, so you get the water resistance, but also dust resistance, so you're not gonna collect a ton of dust. This is a first, and I have the Pixel 9 Pro Fold and the Galaxy Z Fold 7 from Samsung. We'll put them side by side and compare. This will be a fun video. I also have an official 10 Pro Fold case in just a slightly different color compared to the phone, just to give you an idea of the color. So we'll unbox this as well. So we'll take a quick look at what comes in the box, then get a full hands-on with the latest flagship foldable, the Pixel 10 Pro Fold from Google. Let's get started. Here is the new Pixel 10 Pro Fold from Google in that moonstone color. Sliding that on out. As always, with every single foldable I've ever tested, it is shipped completely open, so that is very normal. With the Google logo on the paper, we're gonna set that to the side for just a sec. You've got a SIM ejection tool because the Fold is the only one that has a SIM card slot in the Pixel 10 lineup this year. Getting started guide. And finally, just a USB Type-C to Type-C cable for charging. The paper lets you know where that SIM card slot is and other icons. Let's open this up, peeling that open for the first time. Didn't mean to actually rip that, but here it is. That 10 Pro Fold. I'm going to boot it up for the first time, and while it turns on, let's take a closer look at this flagship foldable's hardware. Starting closed, you'll notice it is completely flat on the corner here and on the outside. Nice to see. You've got one of your speakers, USB Type-C port, one of your microphones. Moving along on the right side, Google goes a little different with the volume rockers below the power button. A lot of others do the volume rockers above. It's just a matter of personal preference. Note, there is a camera bump. Up towards the top here, you've got more microphones, another speaker, and there is your SIM card slot. And this is their new gearless hinge. It is supposed to be twice, or last twice as long, twice as strong as the Pixel 9 Pro Fold. And just so you can see it in action, when it is folded open, it does clasp completely flat, so the phone does lay completely flat. And just a quick look at how thin it actually is. Not quite as thin as, say, the Galaxy Z Fold 7, but it's still very thin when unfolded. Quick close-up of that moonstone color on the back. You do have the Google logo, and here is a look at our triple camera system. You get a 48 megapixel wide-angle lens, a 10.5 megapixel ultra-wide-angle lens, and a 10.8 megapixel telephoto lens, which can zoom up to 5 times optically. With that front design, I will say, holding it in my right hand, it's very comfortable, very smooth with the rounded corners, but if you do hold it in your left hand, just note that it's going to be it's not like it's going to hurt or anything, but it's just a slight bit sharper in that corner and the upper left-hand corner just due to that design. Also, opening up the hinge, it feels very premium overall. You do still see a crease here, as you can tell in that lighting. And again, the hinge is just very strong, very durable, no worries at all whatsoever. And you get that IP68 dust and water resistance. I'm actually really excited about that extra dust resistance. The first foldable ever to have that. Anyways, I'm gonna run through the startup process and we'll talk about anything that's noteworthy. You don't just have to use a physical SIM, you can set up an eSIM. There is a fingerprint scanner embedded in that power button, so just set it on down, lift up. Oh, it says to reposition, you already touched this area. Okay, so just keep moving your finger, make sure it's a different spot every single time you're pressing down. Continuing through some really nice haptics, I will say, even just throughout the startup process, I've noticed that with typing and everything, Google always does a really good job with their haptics overall. And there we go. One is added. You can add more if you'd like. You can also set up face unlock. Let's actually do that. So centering it in the center of the circle. Wow, that was extremely quick. Looks good. Google, of course, has a lot of AI built into their devices. First of all, Gemini being your personal AI assistant, which I've been a fan of so far. It's a nice improvement from the Google Assistant, so you can turn that on if you'd like to. This is brand new. Magic Q will pull information from other apps and give you contextual suggestions based on other things. I'll show you the apps it pulls data from. You don't have to use it. I'm going to turn it on. Pixel Screenshots surfs through your screenshots and finds, again, contextual information. There's car crash detection, satellite SOS. Some other settings get instant translations, which is really nice. You can choose your language. Identify music around you. Definitely turn on now playing. Even when you're thinking about something, oh, I wonder what song that was yesterday. It keeps a history of music that's played around you. It's awesome. Always on display, something I always turn on, and auto adjust settings to environment. I found this works pretty well actually on other Pixel 10 devices. This is based on your environment, and you can choose whether it's used via sound or vibration. You can switch to navigation buttons if you'd like to. Otherwise, you're ready to roll. Swipe up, and here it is, our brand new device. Opening that up, there it is. It actually mimics the outside screen, at least out of the box. You'll notice all of these apps right here, and if I open it on the left side, it's in the exact same spot. Close look at that 6.4-inch Actua display from Google. This is a 1080p resolution on the outside. A little bit larger of a display than the previous model. This is a 20:9 aspect ratio, so it does feel like a normal phone in the hand. I want to point out that it goes from 60 to 120 hertz, so a higher refresh rate. Keep in mind the outside display is a little bit different from the inside display. I'll tell you what I mean in just a second, but if you go into display settings, that smooth display is checked out of the box, so you do get up to that 120 hertz. Now opening up the device reveals that 8-inch Super Actua display from Google. Also an OLED display, but a higher resolution at 2076 by 2152. Also make note, it goes from 1 to 120 hertz as opposed to 60 like the outside display. So that was the difference there. If we go into display, again, it's checked out of the box, so just make note, which will help with battery life, having it go all the way down to 1 hertz. Also, a really nice upgrade is that you get 3000 nits of peak brightness on both the outside and inside display. So especially that inside display, I'm expecting better performance. And when you're outside, you should be able to see the screen better. And as promised, side by side with the Pixel 9 Pro, you'll notice because of that gearless hinge, there's less bezel along the left side, a lot more noticeable bezel on the left side, and a little bit larger outside display. Quickly side by side with the back, it looks very similar overall. And side by side with that inside display, you'll notice the crease is reduced on the 10. It's a lot more noticeable on that 9, whereas on the 10, they've definitely made it a little bit more minimal. And as promised, side by side with the latest foldable from Samsung, the Galaxy Z Fold 7. On the front, you'll notice taller and more narrow compared to the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. And obviously one of the biggest differences is how thick it is. There's about a 2mm difference in thickness when it's closed, so that means when it's open, obviously 1mm on each side. And just to give you an idea, close up without the camera bump, there they are side by side. Let's open them up. Same thing, side by side. You'll notice, you can definitely tell that Samsung's is thinner than Google's, but again, Samsung's doesn't have magnets, so there is a difference, and there's a difference between these phones. Going back into settings, as promised, I wanted to talk about those AI features, specifically Magic Queue. You'll see it's updating right now in the background, which is fine, but here is the data from specific apps. I wanted to go to all of them, so you'll notice it's mostly just Google apps at the moment, including Gmail, Calendar. Those are the two big ones, in my opinion. It can pull from Gmail and Calendar and messages, so if you're texting about something, it might give contextual information. Also, a really big one right now is the Pixel Snap. Here's one of the official accessories. Look at how it snaps right on the back. It's a strong magnet. Again, the first foldable that has this MagSafe feature. This is using Qi 2. Really nice. This is more of a kickstand, so you can use it, set it up, and I think you can even use it when the phone is completely open. So let's go home and actually try this. Boom. So you can change the angle as well. So if you want to angle it up a little higher, really nice to have these accessories at your disposal. I don't have it plugged in at the moment, but here's the official Pixel stand, and that works just fine. So it will sit off of the desk or whatever it's set on, so you can use it. And again, I'm holding it upside down. I trust these strong magnets. Now, also, let's grab, maybe not an official, let's grab a third-party accessory. So this is a Qi 2 wireless charger, setting it on down, locks in place. Is there battery? Yes, there is. Okay, there we go. So it is now charging right there. And again, I'm just holding it by that battery pack. So awesome. I'm really happy Google decided to take the leap and actually add magnets to their entire Pixel 10 lineup. Whoops. Just a quick little accidental drop test there. Nothing happened to the actual phone. Opening the camera app for the first time, you can do a slow swipe for the taskbar, which obviously is a lot better for multitasking. Side-by-side apps, app suggestions as well. That was just the first time. You can even go into your entire app drawer. So if you press and hold on an app, bring it on over side by side. Hey, I want to take pictures, but I also want to download apps at the same time. Also, speaking of, one really nice feature is you can go to like 90-10 with apps, and if you tap over, boom, just quick swap back and forth. One really nice thing. So again, you get that, Android official software experience, and it just works really well. Anyways, photos, taking pictures, really quick with the shutter speed, go to 0.5x. Let's go into 2 times, 5 times optical, but then you can go all the way up to 20 times zoom, which is digital zoom, but Google has a lot of really good software processing, so it should look, okay, even though, it's still processing. Boom, there you go. So 20 times actually not bad considering how close I was to the subject. You can press this icon and get a quick idea of what your shot looks like. And also this one, press this, you can do a rear camera selfie, a dual screen preview, and made you look. So if we go to rear camera selfie, try the rear camera, boom, front screen is turned on, and there we go. So now you can hold up your hand and boom, 3, 2, 1. There we go. So a really easy way to utilize those back cameras. You do have a ton of features like portrait mode, long exposure, Add Me is a really cool one, panorama and night sight. Switching over to video, I would like to point out they do have video boost to upgrade with HDR+, stabilization, and even an unblur. So you can turn that on if you'd like to. It does take time. It's in the Google Photos app. Also, you can shoot up to 4K 60 frames per second. As a quick test, let's set our fingerprint down, which was just our thumb. It seems to be very quick and accurate. And also as a test, we will use our face unlock. So I'm going to unlock, and it seems to unlock right away with our face. You'll notice that icon. Finally, as promised, the official Pixel 10 Pro Fold case. It comes in 2 pieces and also has adhesive on the inside of the front. I'm not going to have this on long-term quite yet, so I'm going to keep the adhesive strips on, so just make note why those arrows are actually there. So putting that on the front, very easy. Also, this still will work with your Pixel Snap. There's a little circle there, and snapping that on, a nice soft touch feel on the inside. And there you have it. I know it doesn't look great on the front there, but opening it up, it does feel great with the hinge. There's just a little bit of a gap there in between them, which is totally fine. But overall, feels very nice in the hand, a little softer touch feel, some added grip. You do have a cutout for the buttons there, and obviously the hinge is exposed because it needs to collapse on each other. But overall, I do like this color too, honestly. It's really tough to choose between that Moonstone and this one. They both look really nice. Anyways, that is everything for me on the latest flagship foldable from Google, the Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Love that there's magnets built into the back. Anyways, be sure to subscribe. A lot more content coming soon. Like I said, that Pixel Watch 4 coming soon and more. So as always, thanks for watching.